Alright, welcome back to Dinopedia, entry number 12, the Carnotaurus. Let's get into the video. Remember to like if you like, and subscribe down below if you really like the video. So of course, the schedule as always, we look at the Ark Survival Carnotaurus, we look at tips and tricks for the Carnotaurus, potential add-ons for Ark Survival Ascended, and Ark 2 that may be coming out next year, who knows, and reworking for a new game, my game, Dino World. Let's get into it. So first, the Ark Survival Carnotaurus, as seen here. It's an animal, so Kingdom Animalia, group reptilian because it's a lizard. Dinosaurs are ancestors of lizards, ancestral lizards. And description is theropod because, of course, it is a carnivorous dinosaur with 3 toes. So 3 toes and also 3 fingers, but some theropods do have more than 3. So some traits for the Ark Survival Carnotaurus. It will prioritize attacking other creatures over players, so if you do see it and you're next to like a Stegosaurus or Parasaurus, note that it will probably not attack you. It'll attack the Stegosaurus first or the other creatures you're around first before dealing with you. So it's good to have something that's nearby to you so that it'll attack them before it attacks you. Next, it will likely use their horned heads to ram other creatures likely off cliffs, so do be aware if you're by a cliff and you see a Carnotaurus, it's likely just to, get away from that cliff just in case it decides to headbutt you off the cliff and kill you due to fall damage. So its health stats, it has 420 health, stamina 300, oxygen 150, food and water 2000 each, weight 300, melee 35, speed, walking speed is 425 meters per second, swimming speed a little bit slower but still pretty fast due to most animals being slow at swimming. This one's actually pretty good at 3 meters per second, and a torpidity of 350. So some tips about the Carnotaurus. Hunting party, while not as effective as a Rex, its headbutt attack can knock back enemies, sometimes off cliffs, which can help weaken opponents. So let's say you're going up against a Giga or a Titan, and there's a cliff nearby. Using your Carnos to headbutt it off the cliff can do a lot of damage to it and get it away, just in case your dinos need some time to heal before going out to take it off for round 2. And then number 2, it's a cheap troop. It's very cheap to tame and also cheap and efficient. It's good, cheap-based dino for making an army. So, because it's a cheap troop, one of the easy tricks is if you're on Aberration, you can use it as an easy Reaper sacrifice. A good dino to sacrifice the Reaper Queen to impregnate it in order to tame a Reaper through impregnation, as you have to do. But also remember, you do have to fight the Reaper Queen in order for her to impregnate your Carno, so you do need to level up your Carno's health just so it can survive the attacks from the Reaper Queen in order to be able to be impregnated by it. And then number 2, Leech Hunter. Since its head is held high above the ground, it makes it hard for leeches to do any real damage, so it is a good Leech Hunter to just run through the swamp, get a bunch of leeches on it, and then go back to base so you can harvest them for leech blood. So some potential add-ons, I have a picture of the Disney's dinosaur movie Carnotaurus that if you've ever seen the movie, you'll know that it was a pretty impressive villain. And I did actually like this movie because it did show the Carnotaurus as better than most other movies. So I think what should be added to Ark Survival Ascended, or maybe Ark 2, make it have more bulkier stature. Make it so it's a little bit larger and more intimidating, larger bulk, make it less skinny and wimpy, more bulky, and make it have longer curved horns to make it more like a bull instead of, just a weak horned dinosaur. And then also mated pairs. I think when a Carno spawns into the game, it should spawn in as a pair of Carnos, similar to how the movie has 2 Carnos chasing after the main protagonist. I think it'd be pretty good if Carnos spawn similar to Allosaurus's, where I said it should spawn in packs of 3. I think Carno should spawn in pairs of 2, just to make it a little bit more, to spawn a little bit more dinosaurs in, and also make it so they have more of a chance to hunt other dinosaurs, because Carnos are pretty weak when it comes to other dinosaurs in the wild. And then also Rock Climber. I think it should be able to climb up inclines and rocks more effectively, because it does populate rockier environments, as you can see by the movie here. So I think it should be able to climb inclines and rocks more effectively than it does in the game, which is not very much. So I think these are 3 add-ons that could potentially help out Ark Survival Ascended and Ark 2 perhaps, in making it more of a unique dinosaur. So looking at the Ark Survival Evolved Carnotaurus, I'm just going to say it right now, it is a very basic model. I do not like how basic it is. And the Jurassic World Carnotaurus, I mean, look at that. Looks more impressive. It has better horns. Its horns are more of a bull shape instead of just pointed outward. It has a more impressive design. It has more detail, but of course it is Jurassic World, so the movie, so it is going to be a little bit more detailed than in a game, but also I do think that the Carnotaurus in Jurassic World looks better than the Ark one. Similar to our Carnotaurus, we went the Jurassic World route of having the U-shaped horns similar to a bull, and that it has a more bulkier physique, even though its arms are still wimpy like a Carnotaurus. I think the Ark Survival one needs a big upgrade, just bigger horns and a more bulkier stature, like we said before. So of course the Carno in Dino World, obviously instead of Carnotaurus, we shorten all of our names to smaller abbreviations. So Carno, we just took off the Taurus part. There are 3 different types of Carno: normal, wild, and tamed dino variant you can find in the wild or tamed; mutated Carno, the product of 2 tamed Carnos plus a gene computer; and a dead Carno, a dead carcass that can be harvested for resources. So of course it's an animal, so Kingdom Animalia, group Reptilian as always. It's a ancestral lizard, and its class is Theropod because it's a 3-toed carnivorous dinosaur. And the family is horned theropods. These are theropods that have horns on their head or horns on their body. So we have, of course, the Allosaurus we talked about earlier, the Albertosaurus, which is a bigger version of the Allosaurus, and of course the Carno. So the health stats, and related to the Ark Survival health stats, not much has changed. The health is a little higher, 450 instead of 420. Melee is a little lower, 30 instead of 35. And the speed is a little higher at 4.5 meters per second instead of 425 meters per second. Not much has changed from Ark. I do think Ark has a pretty good stat base when it comes to the Carnotaurus, so he didn't change that much. Some additional traits that do make it a little bit better than the Ark Carnotaurus. We're keeping the pair spawns, so each Carno spawn spawns in 2, and it does have rock climber, making it so it can go up inclines and rocks faster. It also has a secondary attack, so it has a bite attack that does 30 damage, but its horned headbutt attack knocks them back and gives the affected creature a tiny bleeding effect and a knockout effect, so it inflicts a ton of torpor compared to the normal Ark headbutt attack. And its ability is Bullhorn Charge. As you know, Taurus stands for bull, and Carnotaurus stands for like bull lizard. So, of course, it has a bull attack where it rears up on its hind legs and then charges forward for a more powerful knockback attack that also knocks creatures back, and a knockout attack that inflicts up to ×3 and ×4 torpor and a major bleeding effect. So it knocks creatures back, instantly knocks them out with torpor, and inflicts a major bleeding effect, making the Carnotaurus a more effective offensive fighter. And the last thing we're going to talk about is, of course, the spawn rates. So we have blue for guaranteed, green for very likely, yellow few to likely, orange to rare, red for very rare, and purple for dead. So just like the Ark Carnotaurus, it spawns on a variety of different biomes. The most likely, where you can find you're very likely to find Carnotauruses, are the southeast jungle area. Few to likely, you can find few to likely Carnotauruses in the Central Plains area, the northern jungle up here, the Redwood forest, which is right here as well. You can also find them rarely in the Rolling Hills area up here, where you can find more Gigas and Carcharos and more Giganauts in general. And very rarely you can find them still in the Taiga, Cherrywood forest right here, and the desert down here. So it does spawn in a variety of different biomes, just like the Ark one, which spawns at basically every biome. Wanted to make it similar to that you can find the Carnotaurus in pretty much every single biome except for Volcanic Bay, Swamp, Badlands, and Snowy Mountains, and of course Herbivore Island down here. Alright, so that's going to be the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like if you like, dislike if you don't, subscribe if you like it. Comment down below your thoughts. Comment down below, have you seen the Disney's dinosaur movie, and what did you think about the Carnotaurus in that movie? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Everyone have a blessed day as always, and of course, toodaloo.